What about that new real estate law?
Oh, the lawsuit.
Yeah. So what happened with that? So I know it
It's
went
done.
through and it's done.
Yep.
Yep. But what was this lawsuit about, and what does it affect us now?
So there it affects the consumer, in my estimation and opinion, in a bad way. Some people felt taken advantage of because real estate agents weren't explaining that commissions are always negotiable and how it works, right? Like a lot of buyers agents say, I work for free. No, you don't. You get paid by the seller, right? Or the selling firm, to be more accurate. But they weren't telling people that. So they got sued. And that was what the whole lawsuit was, over the lack of transparency and explanation. The rules didn't change the way they explained them. So somehow the DOJ approved this, and I don't know how. And NAR thought this was a good idea. They took out all offers of compensation out of the MLS. So everybody knew going in. Every sheet I printed for every customer had what the listing firm was willing to share with the buyer's firm. So when we went out to look at a property, we 100% all knew what was going on, who was getting paid from where. It was all in black and white. Now that's gone. So how do you advertise that? Like, that's the big question right now. So what's happened, because it just went into effect yesterday for our MLS, we're getting texts for every listing. Hey, is your seller authorizing a co-broke? Yes or no?
And they all are. They always were. It's almost
all, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, they had to say it.
Correct.
Before. Otherwise, it was just default.
Otherwise, with the buyer's agency, the buyer has agreed to pay me something as their agent, and that's fine too. We've done a few deals that way, off market, for sale by owners. Buyer just pays Bigwood Realty.
Right.
But now there's extra work for everybody involved, and maybe some more disingenuous or dishonest agents say, nope, there's no co-broker. Don't answer me. So I write it into the offer as a buyer's agent, seller to pay X amount of percent to me. Bigwood's Realty. And it's the only offer, right? Like we're not getting 15 offers on every property anymore. So Mr. Seller takes that. Now Mr. Seller has agreed to pay 6% to ABC Realty and 2.5% to Bigwood's
so
Realty.
they come out behind.
They could.
Yeah.
So it opens up, it took away transparency, and it opens up consumers.
I thought the point of it was to open up transparency.
I
took a little bit away, huh?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. I like form changes.
So when you're buying a property, you need to make sure that you understand what commission you're paying, and if you have to pay the buyer's agent as well.
Yeah.
Because if they write that 2%, that's in addition to whatever your 6% or 7% that you agreed to.
Now, a good listing agent, because that is a strategy that I feel like will get employed, is that people will just ask for their buyer's agency fee instead of making a text or a call.
Mm-hmm.
A good listing agent can always retroactively reduce their commission to match, right? So it doesn't change. So if you agreed to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10%, whatever that number is, you can negotiate on it first off, but whatever it settles on, you can reduce in your original listing contract to compensate for that.
Yeah.
So that.
But I'll have to pay attention to that with my real estate agent.
100% will.
Yeah. So most people won't realize that, and they're going to need to.
Talk. First off, hire a good real estate agent.
That isn't going to try to screw you.
Work with good people, because that's the biggest thing you can do.
That's it, though. That's all that's changed.
Yeah, that's 100%. They changed a couple forms, added a couple of disclaimers for the lawyers put in there, but the other thing is every single agent has to now sign a written agreement with a buyer prior to showing them a home or a property.
I hate that. Hasn't that always been a thing, though?
No. So in Wisconsin specifically, you have pre-agency. So I work for me. I can go show you anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't ask my opinion or negotiate, I don't have to work for anybody.
Right.
Now there's a pre-agency form that I have to get signed, or sub-agency or buyer's agency. So it makes kind of weird when you don't know the client. You're meeting for the first time. Hey, sign this contract. That's legally binding. Like,
But what does it legally bind you to?
The pre-agency doesn't, but the buyer's agency does.
Yeah, but the pre-agency doesn't.
Yeah.
So what is it for? Why are you even signing it?
It just to prove that I disclosed what's going on.
Oh, got it.
But there's going to be agents that are like, hey, I have to get you to sign this agreement, and it's going to be a buyer's agency.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, they
Yeah.
already do that now. I don't know how many agents have done that to me. Like, no, I'm not signing this.
Yeah.
Why? What are you going to do for me? I already have an accepted offer. You want me to sign this too? That ties me into you working with you for the next year? No.
Correct.
No. I'm doing this deal. That's all we're doing.
And it's funny because in the buyer's agency, you can put in a specific amount of time, specific property, specific anything.
Yep.
And people don't. They put a blanket year in, and you have to pay them a
Yeah.
commission.
Every property that you buy.
Well, and if you don't need me, I'll work as a sub agent all day long.
Yep.
If you're not asking my opinion, you don't need me to negotiate with, why not? But a lot of agents won't. So make sure you're asking the right questions because it's going to cost you a lot of money.